Welcome to Larry's Library, and welcome back to the unboxing desk. And I finally got my first DCBS discount comic book service box in since I've started using them again. Yeah, that's the whole thing. I used to do DCBS, discount comic book service. I used to do all my comics that way, pre-ordering. Back when I collected singles, I used them for 10, 15 years, for a long time. And then I got away from singles. And started using IST, InStockTrades.com, their sister site. Started using them more. But now that, that I'm back to, I'm not collecting singles per se, but I am collecting two singles. The new Titan Savage Sword and Savage Sword Reforged. I'm getting those as they come out in single form. So, I've got about 3 local comic shops I can choose from. I could get them there, but none of them are really that convenient for me where I live now, and it's not really worth it. So I decided to pre-order those from DCBS, and they charge a flat rate. I think it's like $10 a month for monthly shipping. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to combine them, and I'll start getting some of my collected editions. The majority of them I'll get through DCBS. Now, if you've ever done comic book pre-orders before, you got to go way early, months out, and then they trickle in. So it's a whole thing. It's a lot of trouble, but I'll get used to it. I did it for a long time. I can do it again. And I finally got my first, this big boy here, shipment in since I switched back to DCBS, you might say. So we'll get into it now. Just one big box, so I don't expect this will take very long. Now, of course, I ordered a lot more than this, but all the publisher schedules are different from one another. So, the cutoff dates, sometimes it's 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months out. I mean, it's all different. So, check it out. If you've never ordered from DCBS before, they are, as I said, the sister site of InStock Trades, so they know how to pack. Shouldn't have any trouble with damaged orders, that's for sure. Plenty of packing material here. Let me get my invoice out of the way, or at least turn it over, and I'll show you what this looks like nestled down in here. Yeah, there's a little preview for you of what's coming up. I'm just going to take them out, and then we'll go through them one by one. Get this big box out of the way. That'll work. Okay. So I've got the Savage Sword of Conan Reforged issue 5 from Titan. Check that out. I think I wasn't holding these up long enough for the camera to focus on a few of these videos, so I'm going to pause a little longer, see if that helps. So if you're unfamiliar, these are reprinting the classic original Marvel Savage Sword, but they're not going issue by issue. Not at all. They're just doing selections, of different stories from those books, and they're not going in order, but they are giving you complete stories. So it's different, and the shtick here is these are colored for the first time ever, because the Savage Sword Conan was a black and white magazine. The new one is too, but this is Conan Savage Sword Reforged, and they are coloring them for the first time ever. And I really like to see that because, to be honest, and I know this is sacrilege for a lot of people that love black and white comics, but I grew up with color Marvel comic books, and that was my jam. That was my thing, and I stayed away from Savage Sword for a long time. I would pick up an occasional one, but I wasn't sold on it because it was black and white, and I really prefer color. I still do, but I do have an appreciation for black and white now that I didn't used to have as a kid. So it is a treat for me to see these colored. And I'm getting both. I'm also collecting the original Savage Sword in black and white form, so what can I say? I want both. I want it all. Can't have it all, but I can try, right? Now, this is a little bit controversial, and it really shouldn't be, but it is. This is, you know what? I'm going to save that. Let's save the controversy for a little bit. Let me get my invoice out of here so I don't dox myself. And show you what I got here. Okay. Invoice. Okay. Now, these are preview books. And it used to be, you know, before the fall and decimation of Diamond, you know, most things were done by Diamond, but now they're broken up into various distributions, and it's a whole thing. So now they do the solicits through their own books, their own little publications primarily. So I've got DC Connect here, another DC Connect, a couple different months worth, I guess. And then IDW has one called IDW Monthly Catalog. So I picked that up. Most of these are either free or they're like 25 cents. So it seemed like, well, I might as well let them throw those in. You know, and I'm paying for the shipping anyway. And they're basically free. Here's Marvel's free previews, and they are free. The Marvel is. Some of the other ones I think are 25 cents. So I don't know if I'll keep getting these or not. I don't know that I really need it, but might be interesting to flip through, you know. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see if I keep getting those or not. You know what? I want to save the controversial one for last, but let's take a look at this. This is kind of an oddity for the sheer size of it, but this is a Mighty Marvel calendar book. Look at this. So this is a big-ass hardcover that a visual history by Chris Ryall, introduction by Roy Thomas. Now, let's see if I can get it undone here. We'll flip through it just a little bit. So growing up, you know, I started getting comic books in the late 70s. And I would get even older books out of the quarter bins. And, you know, then later they became 50-cent and dollar bins, but they were 10-cent and 20-cent and quarter bins. And these were books that were in kind of rough shape, but they were older books. And I would see ads in all these books from like the early 70s all the way up to like 1980, where they would advertise the Marvel calendars. And you had to send away for them. They would sell those in stores. Always wanted that. Never managed to get any of them. And so this book is kind of a dream come true for me, because it collects art from all of those old Marvel calendars in this huge, you know, the same, probably the same size as the actual calendars. Check this out. Oh wow, look at that. Okay, so there's, I don't know how much of this I'm fitting in here, because I'm kind of doing it blind. I put the book up in front of me and then I can't see the camera, so, and I can't see the little screen. But here's 1975. Wow, just goes through the whole thing. Look at that. So you have the entire calendar reprinted in this beautiful hardcover. Oh man, look at that one. Look at this. Check that out from 1975. Did that work? Maybe? Oh man, look at that. This is just absolutely stunning. Just beautiful stuff. Look at this from 1976. Huh? Yeah, I am loving this. It's like a really good quality hardcover too. There's a spine on it. Wow. Here's the back cover. Mighty Marvel calendar book of visual history. And this is a treasure right here. It's quite a treasure for me. As an old Marvel fan, man, this is awesome. I love this so much. Now a little bit of controversy, and it shouldn't be, but it is. This is X-Men Elsewhere by John Byrne, Volume 1. So there's going to be 3 volumes of this. And it's a nice size. It's oversized. Yeah. Because here it is. You know, it's even a little bit taller than this Savage Sword. Now, what this is, in case you haven't read about it already, this is John Byrne sort of doing a what if. What if he didn't leave the X-Men when he did? You know, if you know Marvel history a little bit, you know that John Byrne was, in my opinion, the greatest X-Men penciler ever. And he did a bunch of issues of Uncanny with Chris Claremont. He co-plotted and he drew them. And they had awesome inks by Terry Austin. It was just the greatest time in comic books, in my opinion. But anyway, they had some difficulties. Chris Claremont and John Byrne did not agree on a lot of plot points and whatnot. And it's kind of a long story. But anyway, John Byrne left the book. And eventually he moved to the Fantastic Four, where he was the grand poobah. He drew it. He wrote it. I think he even inked a lot of it. He lettered some of it. I mean, he tried to do it all. And he did it really well, gotta say. But anyway, so this tells, well, what would happen? How would John Byrne have handled it if instead of him leaving the book, Claremont left the book and John Byrne just took it over? And he just wrote it, controlled the plot completely, and did all the art. He did this some years later, and he did it just kind of as a personal project, just for fun. And he published it on his own website, the John Robotics. I think it's called John Byrne Robotics Forum, something like that. But he's had that forum for a long time. He still has it to this day. And he published this, you know, he just put those up and let everyone see the pages and let them download them for free for many years. Well, Abrams Comic Arts decided to publish all these. And they're colored. And they are beautiful and stunning, just absolutely gorgeous artwork in here. I've seen a lot of pages from it. But, so some people are calling this, you know, sort of mockingly, well, this is just nothing but fanfic. Well, but is it fanfic? I think that's a little harsh to call it fanfic. I mean, this is one of the architects of the Uncanny X-Men. This is John Byrne. If he wants to do his take on something that he had such a hand in creating, well, can't call that a fanfic, not in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, if you take it to such an extreme, you can call anything fanfic that's not from the original creators of the characters. So is everything post-Stan Lee, is that a fanfic? You know, I mean, come on. It's not a fanfic. And then there's people that say, you know, to boycott this book because Byrne is such, you know, kind of an asshole. Well, it's true, he can be. He has said some really controversial things over the years. He said some things that I certainly don't agree with. But you know what? I don't have to agree with everything a person says to enjoy their work, you know, to enjoy their art. And this is superheroes. This is not politics. I mean, politics affects everything to a degree, you know. I mean, that's just the way it is. But I know I'm going to love this. Even if I don't like the story, I'm going to love this artwork. And I'm going to get all 3 of these. So yeah, and look at that cover. This is Wolverine, in my opinion, in his greatest costume. The brown and tan. Love that. So, yeah, this is right up my alley. Yeah, you know, so I pre-ordered this, and I'm going to pre-order the other 2 for sure. So that is what I got in this first DCBS, or return to DCBS haul. I got this beautiful Mighty Marvel calendar book. John Byrne's X-Men Elsewhere, Conan Reforged, number 5. So, hope you like taking a quick look at these, and I will catch you next time.